Alright guys, what's up? I'm here with my Miata again, and today I'm installing this. It's a used convertible top, and it comes from an MB Miata. I don't know the exact year, but it comes with a cable for the heater, and the heater obviously, and or the defogger. And as you can see, it's in really good condition. The rain rail comes with it, and the seals are in really good condition, as you can see. The trim seals right there for the window. So it's perfect, except that this part is kind of sun faded a little bit, which isn't a big deal to me. But this one, as you can see, if I can focus it, it's really rusted right there, and most of that side is super rusted. One of the things just broke because of how rusted it was. So anyway, I have to change it. It's like really messed up. It also has like a 2-foot rip right here, which I use this thing to cover from rain. And yeah, so I took off this side, and I need to take off the things from that side and the middle. So I'll just show you how to do that real quick. So this is the side I haven't done. So what I used basically are a 10mm and I believe a 12mm. Yep. And here are the things you're going to want to take off. This bolt right here. This is the bolt for the boot for the convertible. So I can just put them on the floor. I forgot that you need a screwdriver. Phillips head. And these are basically the 3 tools you need, that you absolutely need. There's also clips like those right there, but for those there's a special tool, but you could use like a flathead, whatever you want. On the other side, one of them broke, so be really careful because they're kind of old. Well, they're really old, but so what I'm gonna use for that is I used this, but I'm also gonna take a flathead, and we'll see. What's better, flathead? Well, you gotta take this part off first, and then I'm not sure if you have to take this off, but it does make it easier. So, okay, the flathead seems to be easier. You just pry it like this with your thumb, hold it. And when you take off these things, I recommend putting them back on. See, it broke right there. Chipped off. Well, that's no big deal to me. Okay, so that piece was kind of under this piece. It was like under here a little bit, but you can pull it out carefully. And now that you took that piece off, there's going to be a clip in there. It's hard to get a good shot in there, but if I can lighten this up, you can see this clip right here, the circle, big circle clip. You're going to want to pull that out, and that's going to loosen this right here, and take that out. Alright, so that clip was being difficult, so I just grabbed it with some pliers but you can see right there the hole. You barely see it, but now you can lift this up. It's going to be a little bit difficult because it's kind of stuck on there. So just carefully pry it up, loosen it, and once you have it a little bit loosened, just wiggle it out. And there's a metal piece that was held by the clip, so set that off to the side, and I'll just put these things where they go. So I don't forget when I'm trying to put them back on. Okay, so we got that off. The next thing is going to be that you're going to want to take this panel right here off. You're going to need to take this trim right here, and that means you're going to have to take this off, which is just held by some Phillips head screws, and it's 4 of them all the way down here. Then you can take this out, which lets you then take this out. But you're going to want to take this off too. It's a little clip that goes in here, and it holds this to this. So this one doesn't have it, unfortunately, but that's no big deal. The other side did. It's really easy. You just put screwdriver or the little hook that I had in here. You pry it this way, and it just comes off. Try not to drop it. And now it's loose. So what you're gonna want to do now is start taking this off. After you take that off, you'll see this trim is under it. You pull it off really easy, and it goes all the way up here, which you see this was held by it. You simply pry it. It's really easy, and you pull it out like that. Set that off to the side, and what you're left with is 3 exposed bolts. I don't know why the lighting is really bad, but in each one of these there's a 12mm. So take these 3 out, and those are the ones that hold your top hinges here. So get those off. Now you got all this stuff loose. It's basically almost ready to come out. The rest of it is pretty easy. You're gonna want to lift the top up. Mine's broken-ish, so it's gonna be probably a little bit difficult. And all around like that, there's gonna be 3 panels. There's gonna be one like right there, one in the middle, one right here, and they're gonna be held down by some nuts, and there's gonna be metal pieces. You're gonna take off the nuts, take off the metal pieces, and then the rain rail is gonna be loose, which means everything's basically gonna be loose. So we'll put the top up and we'll start with that. Alright, so we got our top up. There's the hole that I mentioned, covered with tape and a piece of plastic. In here, you're going to want to take off your carpet. At least it'll make it easier. But you really just have to take off top of it that connects to the pieces I was talking about. See, there's 1, 2, and the third piece is in the back or on the other side. So you're going to want to take off all these clips that go all the way around, and these clips right here will make it easier if you take the whole thing off. So I'll get those off and I'll show you the exposed metal pieces over there. Alright, so something important to realize while taking off this carpet is, one, that this is connected to this mat right here. So you're gonna have to kind of rip it off. Well, not rip it, but unstick it. And which isn't hard. And two, that you have on both sides another little clip right here, and this screw, I believe it's a Phillips head, and then it has a bigger plug right here. It's better seen here. I took this off, the plug, and then it's hard to see that it's a Phillips head screw, but the other one's really corroded. That's the last one you're going to want to take off, and then your carpet should come all the way off. Okay, so I didn't take the carpet all the way off because that screw with the plug thing on the left was really corroded, leading me to think that this rain rail wasn't working correctly. So I'll take that off after I take the top off, because I really want to clean all of this, and I'm gonna put primer on it like I said, just to prevent rust in the future. After taking or pulling down the carpet, you'll see, like, right here would be where the plug would be, and it's really rusted out. So these metal holders are in really bad condition actually, but I don't have any other ones, so hopefully it all goes well. And these are going to be 10 millimeters again, so I'm using the same one, and you're going to want to take them off all the way around. It doesn't matter which one you take off first. I'm going to take off the middle one first and do the rest, and then after you're done taking those off, you could put your top down and it should be ready to take off. So you might need someone to help you or whatever, but yeah, I'll get this off, put it down, and I'll show you guys once it's off. Alright guys, so I just finished taking the screws off all the way around, and as you can see the metal bar right there. So it's right at the bottom. I pulled all 3 of them out, the 2 small ones and the middle one. Just yank them out. Once you have all the bolts off, should come out pretty easy. And also I'd like to note that I didn't clip these onto the top while I was doing that. I just put it up and didn't clip it on. So now it's back down and it's basically almost ready to take out. We're just going to want to pull here, loosen our rain rail. So as you can see right here, there's a piece right here. If I could focus it, there's a piece right there. This is part of the car's trim right here, and not part of the top. And as you can see, if you follow it over here, it goes over the rain rail. It goes over this part of the rain rail, so you can see how it is coming out. So that's how you want to put the new one back in, and that's so it doesn't leak. That's how you properly install it. So I'll just loosen the rest of it and I'll have it taken out. So here you see your bolts where you're going to put the nuts on, and I'm going to give it another wipe here with a wet cloth or something to take all the dust off, and I'll just prime it on the dusty or rusty spots here to try to prevent that rust. And also, random thing, I believe that's your fuel pump entry right there, so just in case you ever need that. Okay, so this is the new top, basically just with the help of somebody on either side. I got it on top here. So basically you're resting your pivot points right here that connect to the frame right here of the car, and this is where you're going to connect the 3 bolts here. So you're going to want to line it up. If it doesn't, you're going to have to be really careful because you don't want to mess up the rain rail or any other part. You don't want to rip it. So if it doesn't go all the way down to connect to the bolts, I simply put my hand in here, lifted this piece up, and lifted it up as high as I could, pushed the rain rail under and back, and as you can see it's kind of bent right here, but I got the bolts on both sides. It wasn't too hard, it just seems kind of like it's not gonna fit perfectly, but if it's flat, evenly put and everything, you can see this is the MB top on an NA Miata, and it fits so far at least. So I'm just going to tighten it and then lift it up a little bit so I could put the rain rail. Alright, I'm getting really excited right now because I put the top up and the glass is kind of hangy or whatever, but ignoring that, it's not all the way on anyway, but ignoring that, I tightened these bolts a little bit, not all the way because I wasn't sure if it was going to be necessary yet, but that's why I put it up, because they're firm, and that was just so I could have room under here to put on all the bolts on the side, as you can see, and they all went in the exact same spot as the old rain rail and top, so everything's looking good to me. But I did want to mention that you want to look at your rain rail from out here before you try to bolt anything up. And remember that this piece right here is supposed to go above it, which it isn't on this side, but on the other side it is. Actually it is now. Press it down evenly. Alright, so after checking your rain rail that it is properly installed from the outside and from the inside, going through each of those studs, you're going to want to install these frames right here. As you can see, I painted mine to try to prevent rust again, so they were rusty, and just keep in mind how they go. So this is how they go with these things, like an N, not like a U, and with the deep part coming outside, because this is where your clips are going to go, and this is where your nuts are going to go. So also keep in mind that for the MBs you have these straps. They're hard to see, but I'll tell you what bolts they're gonna go on. Okay, so I got the flashlight on. Okay, the straps right here, they're in really good condition, but these are connected to a certain bar, and if you follow that bar you'll see that there's a tensioner spring right here, and I'm not sure exactly what that does, but it's obviously really important. And I just realized that there's 2 holes here. I don't know what they're for. I'm curious, but anyway, you got that. So the way you would know is you would put the middle one all the way, and your straps will go in the first one of each side plate. So that one right there, as you can see, the strap is behind it. You would put the strap, then the plate, and then the nut, obviously. And it is also the 3rd bolt from the ends on each side, if you want to be sure. So 3rd bolt, 1st bolt if you're about to put the plate on the side. So just make sure you got those. And before you put those on, you see I have 2 blankets here holding my top from actually touching the frame of the windshield for the car. So that is so I could have some slack here, and so these straps could actually reach here because they have the spring tensioner. So that's why you see I have only a little bit of slack here. So I'll just install that plate, and that'll let me put the top all the way on, and then we'll get to finishing up the job by putting the mats on and all the panels on. So that's pretty much it. Once I put the straps on, now I actually clipped the clips, whatever, and it is basically normal now, not flimsy or anything. So I believe that's what these straps do. They pull this back, this bar right here, on top of this, my car's bar, and it basically applies tension right here. This is the bar, and stretches it out. So right now I would like to keep it like this to stretch it out, but I'll have to do that later. So as you can see, it is like perfect. The window is a little bit smaller, I think, but now I can see through it. The other one was plastic, so it was like super worn. You could literally not see anything through it. So it fits perfectly. These hinges are like super clean. As I told you before, the trim is really nice. It's bumpy right here, but I'll have to test it with my window later. Okay, so now I'm just gonna basically put the carpet back in. Watch out for leaks in the future. And I hadn't tightened these bolts on either side yet, so what I'm about to do is I'm gonna tighten them right now, and then I'm gonna put the top back down now that I know it fits perfectly, and I'm just gonna tighten or install all these panels, all these pieces. And I'm not gonna record that because it's a reverse process basically. So just remember how you did it. If you don't, then check out the beginning of this video, and that should help you. So I'm really happy it didn't even take me that long. So yeah guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I haven't seen any videos like this at all. I have seen one where they do NA to NA, but NA to MB, never seen it. There's just posts of it online, so you could try to find that, but I hope I did a good job showing you. It's basically no modification except for the straps. That's the only thing. That's not even a modification though. You just gotta know. So basically fits perfectly. It wasn't even that hard. I'm really happy with it. If there's any leaks or anything, I'll point it out in the future, but right now it's really good. So I'll see you guys later.